So we're going to try to have a little bit of a conversation with each of you. So we'll start with Issa. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. And I know you have a bit of a sampling that you're going to show everybody of what you're up to. But how did this occur to you to do?
Well, sure. I first started making YouTube videos my senior year in college because I was a Facebook addict and I love to procrastinate. And so I wanted to avoid doing a paper one day, and it came to my mind to create like a mockumentary soap opera about what it was like to be black at Stanford. And I was like, you know, Facebook had just come up with this posted items feature, which is now links, and it just seemed like a great opportunity because I wanted to be a filmmaker to get my work shown. And I knew if I cast my friends, they're very vain, so they were gonna spread the word about it. And that's what happened. And so I started getting messages from other people, like at different colleges at Duke, at Howard, Georgetown, saying, oh my God, this is my experience. So it wasn't until a couple years later where I really decided to take it seriously and started producing more series. And The Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl came to me just because I really love the sense of humor and the sensibilities of Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld, but there weren't really that many people of color, if any at all, in those shows. So I just wanted to create a show where I was represented, in a sense. And so that's how this show came about.
Great. Now I want to come back to that last point in a second. But so let me ask you the standard businessy question. So I mean, how do you see your audience? Like, what is your audience? And like, do you think of this as sort of having a distribution strategy? Are you thinking about it that way, or is it just this is something that, you know, a creative expression, and you're going to sort of let it fly? How do you think about it?
It initially started off as the latter. Like, I wanted to just express myself. I wanted to expand my portfolio and show that I could write and come up with different stories. And then when the views started increasing, then it was just like, okay, I can monetize this. Maybe I can quit my job, and I did, and start trying to do this full time. And then I just started taking it more seriously. But I look at the analytics all the time, every single day, just to figure out who's watching, how I'm catering to them. You know, I have merchandise now where I'm able to take advantage of this audience and really support myself.
Oh, that's great. That's right. So, all right. So you've said in the past that you'd like to turn ABG into a TV series. Is that something you're still interested in? And if you had, what would you have to change? Like, what would you need to do to get that done?
I would like to turn ABG into a TV series if it's on cable, because the language is very raw. I like to curse. What can I say? And so I've tried early on. About almost a year ago, I went to a network. They were interested in meeting with me, and they wanted to, I'm cast in the lead role, and they wanted to recast it and cast a video girl with longer hair who was fair skinned. And so it was like completely missed the point of Awkward Black Girl, because that's not awkward. So that sort of turned me off the television, and I realized I was in the right space on YouTube. Like, this is, the audience likes the show as it is. They're spreading the word about it, and it just seemed like the perfect home. Cool. But now I'm thinking about it. Now a year later, they're singing a different tune, so we'll see.
Well, I think we have a bit of a sample for everybody who hasn't seen it. Shame on you if you haven't.
Standing alone at parties is the clearest indication that nobody wants you. Should I try to make friends? Do I need to act like I'm having a great time? Are people looking at me? Maybe if I dance next to this guy, he'll recognize his urge to dance with me.
So let me come back to a point you raised earlier. Now you said that you said that you're producing for a demographic that, you know, a lot of times goes unheard. So it's also true that among the 20 most subscribed to channels on YouTube, 8 feature people of color, minorities. So what do you think that's just a coincidence, or do you think that there's something about the platform that you know might lend itself toward that?
I think it's definitely an outlet for people of color, for sure, because you don't have to go through mainstream media. There's no one to tell you who to cast. There's no one telling you how to tell your story. So it's definitely appealing for people who just want to see themselves and for creators who just want to put themselves out there. So it's definitely not a coincidence.
Great. Well, let's open the conversation and bring Michelle into it as well. So, Michelle, earlier this summer, Elizabeth Murdoch, one of the big people in media, right, gave a lecture in Scotland, a prestigious lecture, which actually mentioned you, mentioned a lot of other things, but talked about you as being the world's most popular makeup expert with over 600 million views. Yes, that's the equivalent to a global Olympic audience generated by a 22-year-old putting on Lady Gaga makeup. That's pretty phenomenal. So tell us, sort of your story. One thing I've heard is that before YouTube, you applied to a job at the local Lancome counter, yes, and they turned you down. Is that right?
Funny story. Actually, I uploaded my first video back in 2007. And if you really think about it, technically it really wasn't that long ago, but in the online world, that was decades ago. And that was when, sorry, any MySpacers here, MySpace was the #1 social media site and all that. So it was a different time back then. And 2 months prior to uploading my first video, I applied for a job at a Lancome counter at a department store, and they turned me down. And I remember coming home. My mom was driving me home, and I was crying because I was just telling her I just want to teach girls how to apply makeup. And she said something to me in Vietnamese, of course. She said that an opportunity will always come to you again. You just have to be very patient. 2 years later, I got an email from the head PR of Lancome, and they wanted to work with me. So it's truly delayed gratification, I must say.
Well, good. Well, let's get a little sample of what you're doing on the web.
Exaggerate your eye whites by extending it.
Literally watch your video for 3 hours before For following Michelle's Spawn video, I'm going to use this color.
Thank you.
So Michelle, I know you feel strongly about sort of the power of this new media. Tell us about how you built your audience and sort of what YouTube and other platforms have meant to you.
Well, prior to starting my YouTube channel back in 2007, I had a personal blog. I was a starving art college student and was very inspired and always really creative because I was always around very creative people. And I had a blog, and a lot of my readers were asking if I could do a makeup tutorial. So I thought, okay, I could do it, and I started taking photos and showed step by step, but then I realized, if I film a video and I upload it, I think girls can learn better because makeup is such a visual thing. It requires more details than just photos. Like, you actually have to see the movements, so you can mimic the mannerisms and all that. So I filmed it on my webcam, and I edited everything on the laptop at my school and uploaded it, and it got 40,000 views within the first week, and I did not expect that at all. I was so shocked, and so many girls were telling me that they never knew how to apply makeup. And if you really think about it, anyone here that's 25 and up, how did you learn how to apply makeup on when you're a teenager? I mean, I remember for me, I had to either go to my mom, or my mom told me she had to go to a makeup counter, which was very intimidating because they would often push products on you and everything. Right. And if they show you how to do makeup, you can't really take that home. There's no take-home tips to it. Or you go to classes, which you have to pay for. So the fact that a lot of these girls now were learning how to apply makeup on in the comforts of their home, whether it was in the bathroom, bedroom, etc., it was so easy for them, and it was almost like a custom tutor that was teaching them how to apply makeup. And back then, in 2007, people were uploading all kinds of music videos, commercials, episodes of funny shows on TV, or random videos about cats playing the piano. But there were very few actual creative content creators, right, back in the day. There was very few of them. And if they were doing it because they just were really passionate about it and they had something to say. And for me, I just wanted to teach girls how to feel better about themselves.
But in the course of doing that, you've built not just one brand, but multiple brands, right? And you're so talk about the using YouTube and other online media to do that, and how did you in your evolution and how you started learning about that.
Well, YouTube was just an incredible platform for me to upload videos and show people how to apply makeup. But I utilize other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. What else is there now? Seriously, Twitter. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna have a life if there's gonna be any more. Because I still do film and I do everything myself and I edit everything myself. But nonetheless, really, it was all for me about creating custom content for each platform. Like, for example, if I'm gonna upload something on Instagram, it has to be a very visual picture. It can't just be something I can just take a picture of. Yeah. So everything requires a certain type of content. And to answer your question, I think it's really important that it's really important to utilize every single platform out there. If you really want to talk about your brand or spread it out or engage with your customers or viewers.
So how do you think about TV, since that's a platform?
I love
and
TV.
The traditional one, right, besides watching it. But how do you think about for you? I mean, do you have any TV aspirations?
Well, it's unfair to ask me that just because I'm a content creator, so I don't really have a lot of downtime to watch TV because it's kind of a commitment if you really think about it.
That's for sure.
Like you have to sit for 30 minutes and watch something. But yeah, I know, it's like, I want to go on Facebook now. But no, I think TV is still very relevant and it will be relevant for a very long time, but I also do think that online content has become so premium and it's definitely elevated because of YouTube. YouTube invested so much money on all these new premium channels for them to create original shows, and that's actually where it's heading now. I mean, my first video, yes, it had a lot of views, but today's generation, they're probably not going to be interested in it because they want to watch something that's quality, something that's more engaging, and looks a little more expensive than just a webcam video. But nonetheless, content is really important, and that's why people love YouTube content so much, is because it's so personal and it's so engaging.
Right.
But I think right now
it's a serious responsibility now. I mean, you have millions of followers. You have people who I'm sure are. I mean, you're a platform in yourself, right? And people are making their livelihoods based on what you're up to and the things that you create. I mean, you must feel a responsibility to keep continuing to churn out good content. And
I feel like a big sister to a lot of these girls because they don't really have someone that they can really go to. Because in a way, I'm kind of their go-to person for any, not just beauty tips, but fashion tips or relationship questions or whatever. Nonetheless, I think right now we're kind of at this brink of figuring out a way how to combine traditional media with, well, to me, I don't think new media is new anymore. I think it's media, and find a way to kind of merge them together.
Great. So I want to ask you the same question I asked Isa. What advice would you give all the aspiring content creators out there?
Oh gosh, I think the #1 most important tip is really understand your vision. For example, for me, since day one, when I applied for that job at Lancome, I just wanted to teach girls how to apply makeup on and feel better. That was my vision, that was my goal, and really stick with it. So if you're a comedian, you just stick with what you do best. Like, you're a comedian, you are here to share a story and to make people laugh and give them a good time. If you're a musician, make good music and utilize every single platform to share your music and share your lyrics and everything. So I think it's really important to understand your vision. Second, investing in good camera and good audio equipment. I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to watching content created on YouTube because you really want something that's really enjoyable, and also because for me, I'm all about creating archival videos that can still be watched 5 years from now. So if you invest in a really good camera and really amazing audio equipment, then your videos will kind of stand the test of time and it's going to have a longer shelf life. And yeah, that's it, and utilize all platforms.
Great. Well, I want to get other folks involved in the discussion. Let me just ask you, I'm going to ask both of you this question. What does future success look like? Michelle, you can go first, and then Isa.
Oh gosh, it's hard to say because I feel like what we're doing now, we're still kind of pioneering everything. I mean, it's still relatively new, this digital media thing that we're doing. But I think success is really finding a way to scale and to scale to different parts of the world. Let's not just think about your audience, but think about the next generation. And also, let's reach out to those who aren't on YouTube. So really about scaling and reaching out to all viewers.
All right, Issa?
I'm transitioning to television and film, but I love the web. And I think in the end, I want to be able to curate the content that I want to see. Because that's how it started in the first place. It was very narcissistic and selfish, but I wanted to see me on screen. And now that that's happened, I'm literally on the screen. I want to see the stuff that I would want to watch online, and I want to be able to house other filmmakers and content creators and spread their messages and content to the world. So that would be great. I guess overall producing, I would love to be a producer of content.
Okay, so what didn't I ask you about, and what's the point that you really wanted to make here? And I was too stupid to ask you a question that would allow you to make it. So, Michelle?
Oh, you mean if I were to, last words right
now? Yeah, no, last words. Everybody's going to ask you questions in a minute, and you'll probably get much better ones. So,
oh, gosh.
But anything else you want to
my best advice, and this is actually something I literally started 3 weeks ago, and I'm literally dying over it because remember, I'm still filming and editing everything myself. But you look at traditional media, and why is television so successful? It's been around the longest, and it's very organized, and there's a schedule. For example, Friday night, you're going to watch this show at 8 o'clock, and it's going to come on. YouTube, it's kind of up in the air. You have to follow them. You kind of have to chase your content producers to see when they're going to upload a video, or you kind of get a little notification on your email. So what I've been doing is I've been uploading 2 videos a week every Monday and Thursdays. New videos every week, 2 videos a week, killing myself over it, but I've noticed my subscription has just jumped like crazy. People get excited about Mondays and Thursdays now. They tell me how excited they are, and they really feel like my channel is actually literally becoming a channel, a network. It's no longer just a YouTube channel, it's an actual premium channel that they can really rely on every Mondays and Thursdays. So, yeah.
I can't think of a question you were too stupid to ask at all. I find you very intelligent, so thank you.
It's that Stanford education. Go Cardinals. Okay, let's open it up to the audience. Got some questions out there? You have to have some questions. In the back.
Yeah, I've got nothing about makeup or anything, but anyway, my question is about timing. So, you said that somebody said something about, where's the black Liz Lemon, and you uploaded your first YouTube video, 5 years, 6 years ago, whatever. That the timing of those things kind of played a role here. If you started uploading makeup videos today, you might not have the same success because YouTube's saturated with that stuff now. So how do you look forward, based on the success you've had now, how do you look forward in being flexible maybe or whatever to be able to keep doing the kind of things that you're doing with technology? A new technology might come and just kind of trump what you're doing now.
That's pessimistic. No, I'm joking. I think, honestly, I'm always looking to try to be ahead of the curve, and we just happen to be lucky that Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, they all started budding around the same time, so we were able to take advantage of that early on. But even with the content that I'm creating now and the new shows, because I don't want to be known as awkward black girl for the rest of my life, even the new shows that I'm creating, it's you have to look into the current events, and you just have to stay on top of what's coming out, because you'll get left behind if you don't. So one thing that I'm resisting right now that's really, really popular is Pinterest. And I'm like, why am I going to do that? Because it's like Tumblr with pictures. But that's my mentality, and I'm like, no, because it is growing, and I have to find a way to utilize it, or even Google+. Never mind.
Go on.
Google+ is cool. It's really cool.
Moving right along.
Can I
yes,
add something real quick? You're absolutely right. When I started uploading my videos back in 2007, there was just a handful of beauty gurus, and there was a handful of content creators too. But honestly, if you really want to make your mark and you want people to notice you, collaboration is so key to stay relevant. Like you look at musicians who are kind of up and coming, they collaborate with a bigger person. So finding someone and getting their contact, going to all these events like VidCon and making content, making contact with an actual person that is a little bigger than you or they have more subscribers, but then offering them something that's different that they are really interested in, you know, and maybe find a way to collaborate. Like for example, I collaborated with Freddie Wong. Like we share none of the same audience at all, first off. He creates awesome videos about shooting things, and I create videos about putting makeup on. He's like all guy and I'm all girl, so whatever. But we still collaborated, and I was able to bring in a lot of my cool, you know, like gun-loving girly subscribers to him, and he was able to bring along guys who love makeup to my YouTube channel. But nonetheless, I mean, we still collaborated, and in the end, it was a win-win situation. So collaboration is key. That's my...
I don't know. I think we need a cameo on Michelle cameo on Awkward Black Girl. But anyway, that's just me. Next question in the back.
Hi. You mentioned that regularly scheduled programming has helped boost subscribers. Is there anything else that you've seen, that you've done that has also helped boost subscriptions?
Absolutely. I mean, depending on what content you're really creating. For example, if you're a musician, maybe get your audience engaged. Like, hey guys, tell me what song you would like for me to perform next, and I'll do it. And then get people to thumbs up, get people talking, get people really invested in your content. Like, it's not just about engaging. Like, get them feeling like they're actually a part of your world. And if you're doing like comedy stuff or whatever, really find a way to get them involved. Maybe like do like a choose your own adventure type story. This is a great way to get people to really thumbs up and to subscribe to your channel because number one, they want to see what's going on next, and number two, they really feel, again, invested in your content and your channel. And I guess maybe the last one would probably be, it's really all about content. I mean, you can spend $1 million on an amazing YouTube video, but if the content isn't all there, then what's the point? You kind of just wasted your money. So really, again, like what you were saying, like look at the trends, speak in the language that this generation is speaking in, and you know, kind of create content that is made and tailored to your audience. That's really important. So really listening to them. Yeah.
All right, time for a couple more quick questions. Any more? Right in the front here. There you go.
Sorry, excuse me. I was wondering if either of you could share your perspective on original kind of rough content that feels more organic to itself, like the music industry professionals were just talking about. I feel like there's a fine line between overproduced content. You were saying you're kind of a snob when it comes to like audio, video quality, but I also feel like there's a tendency for the audience to react negatively when the content feels too produced, like they're being advertised to.
Right, right.
So how do you handle that?
I'm in that situation right now where my series started off with literally kind of a crappy camera, horrible sound, and I asked because I'm used to being behind the camera, so I asked my best friend to hold the camera. She had no film experience, and like that is our most popular episode. And now that we've signed to a network, you know, we have highly produced content, like the quality is super high, and people are getting all hipster on us. Like I remember when you guys didn't even know how to operate a camera, and now you guys are all professional. So I have noticed that, and there's a difference, but I think that in the end, it's still like you're gonna lose those people anyway because that's what they do with their lives. They complain. But I think that as long as your content stays true to form, then you should be fine. But there's some, if you feel like organic, horrible camera work is what draws the audience to you, then keep it that way. Some people like the realistic element, but I'd encourage you to upgrade because it is more fun to watch.
Keep it widescreen. Widescreen.
Last question.
Can I
add
something real quick to that?
Sorry.
I just want to give you an example. You're talking about overproduced music videos and everything. Yes, I do agree. Sometimes if I see a music video with 10 different advertising things on there, I get turned off. I get you. But you look at this phenomenon that's going on right now. Psy, Gangnam Style, anyone? Gangnam Style, right? He's everywhere. And if you really think about it, no one knew who this guy was, but his video was so amazing. Like they spent a lot of money on it, first off. And secondly, it was just, the content was amazing because people were just so drawn to it. And a lot of people who love that song and that music video, they don't even understand Korean. It's kind of like today's version of the Macarena. I don't know, that's what I think at least, and that's why people love it so much. But again, it's overproduced, yes, but the content remains true to itself. So as long as your content is really true and your viewers feel like they are engaged with you and you really give them that key to kind of, like they feel like they have ownership in what you're creating in a way where they feel very, very, very invested in you, then it doesn't matter if you film on a Red Epic or if you film on an iPhone or Android, sorry. As long as the content is true, then yeah, that's all that matters.
Great. I think we need to move on. I'm being given the hook here. But I really want to thank Isa and Michelle for this conversation. That is fabulous. And thank you for coming.
Thanks, everyone.